So good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us in this workshop. I'm happy to introduce to you Professor Jack Rose, who is with us tonight, and our Career Services Coordinator, Cristina Lopez Vergara. So I hope everybody enjoys this and watch this workshop a lot of times. It's very interesting. So Cristina, tell us what you're going to talk about tonight.
Sure. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the workshop. I'm going to talk to you about how to conduct your job search now during COVID-19 that we are in the middle of a pandemic. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Hopefully this will work. Let's see. One sec. Alrighty. So just need to get this. Can you see my screen fine?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the topic of the presentation, job search 101 strategies during COVID-19. And of course, this is just an introduction to help you, but I'll be more than happy to meet with you one-on-one so we can talk about your job search strategies. Oops. I'm going to skip this slide here and let me see if I can move this. Okay, perfect. So what are the steps to successfully job search during COVID-19? Step number one, think short term. Right now, it's a recruiter's job market, meaning that there are a lot of candidates like you looking for opportunities. So you need to start thinking about the here and now as opposed to planning 1 year ahead or 8 months ahead. So what are you planning to do right now to look for an opportunity? And you need to be creative as well. So expand your horizon so that you are not only limiting yourself based on what you are studying. For example, yes, you would definitely want to look for something in communications, in the communications field, if you're getting your degree in communications or tourism and hospitality, but make sure that you are looking at companies that may have opportunities for you that may not necessarily be only the ones that you would automatically think about when you think about communications or hospitality. Step number two, take advantage of your extra time. Now, some of you may be done already with your degree, or others may be close to being done. So now that you have some extra time in your hand, your number one priority should be to look for a job. So use your time wisely. Number one, you could update your LinkedIn profile, and we can meet one-on-one, and I'll be happy to speak with you and just tell you how you can improve your LinkedIn profile so that it's a stronger profile that will get you in front of recruiters or employers. You could also boost your skills. There are a lot of free online courses that you could take. So maybe you are lacking some technical skills, let's say, that when you start looking for different jobs, you see that they are asking for certain skills. So you can take a free online course. There are a lot of MOOCs available, which is massive open online courses. Actually, MIT and Harvard have some free courses as well that you could register for. And even Microsoft has training and tutorials. And these are just some examples, but even if you just Google certain keywords, you will find information about different trainings or webinars, workshops that you can take for free to kind of help you get ready and make sure that you're using your extra time wisely. Because all of these things, when you add them up, they will end up in results. Step number three, be ready for more phone interviews. Right now, because of COVID-19, many people are working from home, like me. You see me that I'm at my home office right now. So same with recruiters. They are working not necessarily in the office space. So for that reason, it's good that you get ready for more phone interviews. First of all, employers have been using phone interviews more and more lately because that's a way to pre-screen candidates to see if you would make it to the in-person interview, normally the second interview, right? So it's a way to see if you would be a good fit for the opportunity. And then second of all, that's a way also to eliminate candidates. So if you are not the right fit, you will not make it to the next level, which is not going to be your case. You're going to be superstars, but practice for the phone interview. Find a location that's free from distractions. If you are home right now, maybe you have your, I don't know, it could be sometimes people have in the living room area or maybe in your bedroom. somewhere that's free from distractions, where you don't have, if you have any kids, that your kids are not around so they won't interrupt you. Or if you have pets, you can have the pets somewhere else so that you have a quiet room for those phone interviews. And don't take it lightly, because you should prepare as much as you would for an in-person interview. There are different techniques. The good thing about the phone interview is that you could have like a cheat sheet next to you. So you could have a copy of your resume next to you. You could have some bullet points just to keep in mind what your agenda is going to be like in the phone. And you need to make sure that you are transmitting your enthusiasm to the phone. So make sure that you are bubbly and speak up loud and clearly so that people can understand you. So practice, practice, practice so that you are better prepared. And I actually included some phone interview tips and tricks that can help you get ready. So one, again, take it as seriously as an in-person interview, because it is. Actually, the phone interview is kind of like a gateway for the next type of interview. So it's very, very important that you are prepared. Just don't show up unprepared, because that will be actually no good. So make sure that you prepare. Number two, make sure that you focus and cut out all distractions. Again, try to be in a room where you're going to be quiet and you are going to be able to concentrate on the phone interview. Number three, make sure that you do some research before the interview. Again, preparation is key. They will ask you about the organization. Why are you interested in working for United International College, right? What is it that attracts you to the organization? So you need to be able to deliver that message to the potential employer. Number four, make sure that you listen and don't dominate the conversation. Yes, you are the star of the show, so to speak, because they want to hear from you. But at the same time, in an interview, you really need to listen to what people are saying and hear what they are saying, because you need to practice active listening to make sure that you are participating and addressing the questions that they are really asking you. Five, like I was saying, prepare your own cheat sheet. So you could have a piece of paper right next to the phone, and then just like a pen so that you can take some notes while you are in the interview. And you could have your notes there as well so that you know what to say when the questions come up. Six, slow down and take your time. Over the phone, I mean, it's easier to not understand people very well. So it's better that you speak slowly, clearly, and loudly so that they can understand what you are saying. And it's always a good idea to take your time and make sure that you are answering what they are asking you. It's okay to pause as long as it's not an awkward pause. So when they ask you something, it's fine if you say, oh, that's a great question. And that way you are kind of like buying some time to think of the answer. Number seven, be ready for common phone interview questions. Again, this is part of the preparation for the interview. There are a lot of questions that you could kind of like have ahead of time, that you could rehearse before the phone interview, and that way you will be better prepared. Eight, make sure that you send a thank you email. Even if it's a phone interview, it is an interview, right? So again, this is a very important interview because they will determine whether they want to invite you for a second interview or not. So you will be surprised, but a lot of people do not send a thank you email, and that could make you a candidate that will stand out from somebody else. So make sure that you send something short and sweet, just to thank the employer or the recruiter or the panel, depending on how many people are in the phone interview, for their time, and to emphasize your interest in the position. And number nine, you could also direct them to your personal website. If you have a website or any portfolio of some sort, or even your LinkedIn profile, you could include that in your thank you email to them. So again, like, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me today over the phone. I would like to emphasize my interest in the position. I really enjoyed learning more about XYZ. And for additional information regarding my background and experience and skills and recommendations, I invite you to visit my LinkedIn profile, and you can include the LinkedIn profile in that thank you email. Step number 4, be ready for more video interviews. Yes, you will have video interviews, and more so now during COVID-19. So the phone interview, it will be actually I am thinking of a friend of mine who got her job recently. She just started a couple weeks ago, and she has not met the people in person yet. Everything has been via phone, via interview, and she started working and she's working remotely. So she has not met her colleagues or her supervisor yet. So this is real, this is happening, and this will be you, right? When you start with your job search. So make sure that you are ready for more video interviews. Appearance and background will be important. When you are interviewing, try to find a solid background, something that doesn't have much distraction for the person that's on the other side of the screen, so that the focus is fully on you. And there could be a one-way video versus live video interviews. A live video interview will be when you have the person at the same time interviewing you in somewhere else. And this is a live conversation that you will have. But employers are using video interviews as well, where you record yourself, and they're doing this more and more. Sometimes instead of having a phone interview, you will have to do a one-way video interview, where you actually go to follow the information that they send you, you go to a site, there are some pre-recorded questions that you will need to answer, and you will be amazed, but they actually measure everything, the way you respond, whether you make eye contact or not. They can tell whether you look honest or if you may be lying about something in the question. So it's very intuitive. It's a system that I know many candidates tend to be a little bit afraid of, just because people normally don't like recording themselves, but that could be an option for you as well. So I can help you prepare for that type of interview if needed. And of course, I'm including some tips and tricks for you as well for the video interview. So number one, like we said before, like choose a spot where you can control the surroundings. You want to be somewhere similar to the phone interview, somewhere where it's going to be quiet, where you are going to have good internet connection, and you will be fully focusing on the interview. Try to use natural light from a window. Sometimes, I mean, that's better because it will give you a natural look. So if you can be close to a window or with the light, that would be nice. 3, head and shoulders should be visible. So kind of like what you see on the screen right now, right? You're seeing my shoulders and my head, obviously. So you're not seeing the whole body, but you get to see just like from the chest up, I guess. Headphones help prevent weird echoes. You should be using headphones when you are interviewing. That way, the sound will be clearer. Set your camera close to eye level. So kind of like the way that it is here. Just so that you're looking at the camera. Imagine like that the camera is the person's eyes on the other side of the screen, right? Have a copy of your resume. You could have that next to you, similar to the phone interview. You could have your resume next to you, something to take notes with, like I showed you before, and a glass of water next to you. So I have my water bottle here, but you could have a glass of water just in case, so that you can sip a little bit of water in the middle of the interview. And in the case of a video interview, make sure that you dress professionally from head to toe. Why is that? Because you never know. In the middle of the interview, you may be asked to stand up for some reason. And also it will make you feel more comfortable, because you will feel like you are dressed to go to work. So that will boost your confidence, and it will give you a better insight into the interview, and I think you will perform better. 8, practice with a friend or family member beforehand, or with me. You want to practice before, so that you can make mistakes, and we all make mistakes, and that's fine, but you can make more mistakes when you practice, so that you are better prepared when you go for the real interview. Make sure that you smile and nod to show that you are listening, right? Sometimes, I mean, you are in the middle of an interview and you're speaking, they are not going to be interrupting you, but if you see that they are smiling, you will get that, oh, they're listening to me, they're nodding, so they're agreeing with what I'm saying, and you get a vibe for the room. So same with you, definitely. Your nonverbal communication will count as well. And the last bullet that I have there, avoid jewelry that makes noise or is visually distracting. The interview is the opportunity for you not to wear something that's like very chunky jewelry. I love big jewelry, but for an interview, I would be more conservative and wear something like a little like low key, right? You don't want anything that's going to make noise. You don't want any distraction. You want the whole attention should be on you and what you are saying, not what you are wearing or your surroundings or any noises that may be coming through the room. Step number 5, prepare for delays. Now, again, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, right? So everything, unfortunately, is different from what we used to know a few months ago, like 5-6 months ago. This affects obviously employers as well and organizations. So it could be sometimes you may start a process and for whatever reason, maybe the company goes on a hiring freeze or they are not ready to hire at this moment, but they may be in a month from now or a few weeks from now. So you need to be extra patient, but always persevere and make sure that you keep applying. This is going to be your job, right? Looking for a job is your job right now. So make sure that you keep up, but just be patient. Again, organizations will postpone or cancel hires for whatever reason. This happens in normal life. So imagine with the situation right now, it's going to happen even more frequently. But again, make sure that you are persistent and don't give up, because you will find an opportunity by doing so. If you just give up or you say, oh, you know what, I'm not gonna bother because I'm not getting any responses from companies, I'm tired, I haven't heard anything from them. Well, the only person that will be losing will be you, because that organization will be finding somebody else, right, eventually. So make sure that you persevere and you keep applying. And consider, again, being flexible. So consider temporary or contract employment. You may not get your dream job right away, but a job is a job and it's a foot in the door. And there may be an opportunity for you to grow with the organization. You never know. And it could be a good fit for you and for the employer as well. So you may start with a temporary assignment or contract employment or just working part-time. And then you demonstrate that you do a really great job and the employer is going to offer you to stay perhaps long-term or convert that opportunity into full-time when things get a little better and they have the opportunity to do so. So again, there's nothing that you may not get your dream job at the first time, and that's perfectly fine, but you will be employed and you will still be learning and improving your skills, connecting, getting that experience, and then later on, maybe that will lead you to another opportunity. So just think about the possibilities that you have and the options, and don't disregard anything because you think it's not exactly what you are looking for at this moment. Step 7, I know I mentioned this before, but make sure that you don't stop job searching. Very, very important. Persistence always pays off. So you need to take your job seriously. If you apply to 5 jobs a week, that's nothing. You could apply to 5 jobs a day. I remember one time when I moved back to Spain and I was looking for a job, I put in so many applications that it's not even funny until I got a job offer, right? So it takes time. It takes time. You just have to keep applying, stay positive, and be persistent, follow up. And you know what? Even if you go for an interview and for whatever reason that's not the job for you, keep in contact with the employer because you never know. And people like positive people. So it may not be the right time at that moment, but maybe it will be a month from now, right? So if you are in contact and say, oh, I understand that thank you so much for the opportunity, and this was not the right time for the position or for this to happen. But I just wanted you to know that I was really impressed with the organization, or whatever you may want to include in a follow-up email. You never know, maybe they will think about you next time. So leave your options open. Right, so definitely stay positive is step number 8. You're not going to do anything by being negative, by getting frustrated with the job search, by giving up. The only person that's going to suffer is going to be you. So you cannot give up. You know that there is, when the right opportunity presents itself, it will be for you. And you will know that everything else that you did to get there was practice for you to get there. And it was not the right fit for the other opportunities. So make sure that you stay positive and motivated and keep applying. Some mistakes that you could avoid: definitely avoid coming off as desperate, right? If you get a no, it's a no. Don't keep like insisting and saying, oh, why not, or what happened, or this and that. So just move on and apply to other positions, because there are positions out there. So just don't show that you're desperate. Don't try to show that you will do anything that they need you to do, because you have to think about what's right for you. So that's important as well. Number two, you're going for quantity over quality, right? Avoid doing that. So with that, what do I mean by that? Sometimes you may find a company that is looking for 20 different positions, and you apply to all 20. And that's not good, because then the employer is going to say, oh, this person doesn't really know what they want, and they're just applying to everything that we have just to see what happens, right? So it's better that you focus on the position that you really want and you apply for that position. If that position doesn't come along, then maybe you apply to another position, but don't apply to a lot of positions at once, just hoping that you will get one with the same company. Avoid that mistake. Also avoid, when you're applying for multiple positions within the same company, that's kind of like what I was mentioning before. So with 2 and 3, like quantity, you need to apply to 300 positions just to apply. Make sure that you are selective in the positions that you are applying to. Flexible, but selective. Don't apply to every single thing that you see there. Number 4, you are forgetting to make recruiters part of your job search network. LinkedIn is a powerful tool. In your LinkedIn profile, you have access to many companies and employers and recruiters, and they are waiting to hear from you. They actually like when somebody approaches them just to introduce themselves. Obviously, the first time that you contact someone, you're not going to be asking for a job, because that's not the right thing to do. That's not the protocol. But introduce yourself and start like building that relationship, that partnership. And then later on, you could say, oh, I'm really interested in your organization, and I saw that you have this and that position, and maybe you could have a conversation with that recruiter. So again, that will pay off, and be persistent in developing those relationships, but make sure that you are reaching out to recruiters. On the other side of the spectrum, number 5 there, don't plain out ignore recruiters. So if you get, sometimes recruiters will reach out to you, which is great. So if they do, when that happens, even if you're not interested in that opportunity, make sure that you respond, because you never know. And maybe there will be an opportunity a week from now and you will be interested in that opportunity. So just because you are not interested in the opportunity that you see right now doesn't mean that you're not going to be interested in any opportunity whatsoever. So make sure that you are not ignoring recruiters. Number 6, you're only looking for jobs in the usual places. Meaning maybe you go to LinkedIn and you can look on different job search engines like Indeed, or sometimes what's the other one that I'm thinking of that I cannot think of right now because I went blank. But anyways, thank you, Monster.com. Thank you, Professor Rose, or others. That's great that you are doing that, but think outside the box. Look at the companies that you are interested in working for. Are there any employers that you would like to approach? Go to the company website, look under the careers site, see what kind of openings they have available, and you can apply there as well. Even if you apply through LinkedIn and then you go to the company website, you could, sometimes they have applications to their company website as well. It's okay if you apply through 2 different platforms, because again, they may not see your application on LinkedIn first, and maybe they find you through the company website. So just try to be proactive, looking for opportunities in places other than the ones that you would normally think about. Speak to us, right? You could schedule an appointment to meet with me so we can talk about other opportunities. I'm sure that anybody on this call and everybody, Professor Rose and Angelica Moyano, will be glad to help you. We all have connections, so talk to us, even your classmates. Just be alert of everything. Look at, read the news. See what kind of companies are hiring and which ones are not, so that you can follow the trends. If you are thinking too long term, try to avoid that. Again, focus on the short term, like we said before. because we don't know what will happen a year from now or 2 years from now. You want to focus on now, right now, the next month, the next few months. And you are expecting an immediate response to your application. That may not happen either. Sometimes you will not hear from a recruiter or from a position that you apply to at all. You may not hear at all, and that's part of the game. And that's fine. You keep persistent and you keep applying and staying positive until you start hearing back and you find that opportunity. So that's okay. Don't get frustrated because of that. I highly, highly recommend this on LinkedIn. There's a now hiring hashtag, now hiring section that has a list of recruiters, and I'm going to show you at the end, that are actually currently recruiting. And it tells you how many positions they have available and specifically in what roles. So definitely go to your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have your LinkedIn up to par, schedule an appointment with me and I can help you to get that ready so you can start connecting with recruiters right there. And with that, I'll show you the LinkedIn profile, but I'm happy to help anytime that you need assistance with your job search. I'm here for you. So make sure that you email me. We could schedule an appointment to meet one-on-one. And my email is that one on the screen, UIC Career Services @unilatina.edu. And just send me like some days we'll talk and that work for you and we can meet one-on-one so we can talk about your job search. And let me show you, I wanna show you LinkedIn. I had it here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Can you still see my page? I think so, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, so when you go on LinkedIn, literally if you Google LinkedIn, who's hiring now, this will come up. And it tells you this was, updated 6 hours ago. So it's constantly being updated. And like I said, it has a list of companies that are hiring right now and the actual positions that they are hiring for. So look at this list. This is only kind of like a snapshot, but if you click here, I think that's where you get like the actual like entire list. Yes, with this hashtag hiring now. And it's pretty good. This was just updated today, September 9th. So you could monitor this every day because it has a lot of good information here for you to reach out to those organizations. Okay, which is great. Again, I'll be more than happy to meet with you one-on-one. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and email me anytime and I'll be happy to help. So here for you, thank you so much.
Excellent, excellent presentation. It's being recorded. Could we get a copy to show in our classes?
Sure. Oh, I thought Angelica was going to speak. I don't know. We cannot hear you.
I was on mute. Yes, we will upload it to YouTube and send a link to everybody so we can share with the students.
And I can share the PowerPoint too.
Great.
Absolutely.
I was just going to ask that. And I have 2 suggestions. One of the things that I always tell students, and I know you'll agree with this, but they really don't know, do not write a resume or send a resume saying to whom it may concern.
Oh,
they
yes.
should get a name. It's very, very important, even if they have to make a phone call and just say, I'm updating my mailing list. Who is your director of human resources? Or just get a name. And I also tell them, spell it out. Even if they say John Smith, spell it out. Is it John Smith? It could be Smyth. And you know, people like to get emails or whatever with the correct name. This other thing is that I think needs to be in the tips: silence your phone, your cell phones. On all these virtual meetings that I've been on, it happened again this morning. 3 times during the meeting, someone's phone went off and everyone stopped. So that's an important thing, especially during the interview.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's, again, like no distractions, and that's very classic to get the phone, ringing. So
excellent, excellent presentation. Congratulations.
Thank you, Christina. This was amazing. One thing that I want to point out that is very important is to stay positive. Right now, we're going through a very difficult time. I go crazy myself. And, you know, everybody is going through a different situation. So stay positive, stay positive. That's, you know, that gives you good energy. That brings you the good things. And this is part of our holistic program in UIC. We teach students how to be positive and how to attract better things. So I think that's key. That's a very important thing. You know, in order to get what you want, right? In order to accomplish your vision. And I always teach this in my classes.
That translates to everything, right? Sorry to
Absolutely.
interrupt, but yeah, it does. When you're interviewing, if you're not happy, if you're not enthusiastic, it shows. So you have to stay positive, and you have to show that through your personality and everything that you do, because it will only help you in the long run.
Absolutely. I've done thousands of interviews, thousands of interviews when I get our faculty members. And believe me, like in the first 5 minutes, I know this person is going to be good. Or in the first 5 minutes, I also know there is a lack of enthusiasm. There is a lack of like happiness or you know, happiness and positivism in order to work. So
it absolutely comes through. And also have a sense of humor. You know, really tell yourself a joke or do something to make yourself laugh. You know, it's you got to keep going.
Yeah, because that brings synergy. That brings synergy. And that's important, like, you know, when having a conversation, mostly with a stranger, because you're meeting for a person for the first time.
Right.
So and I always tell the students, like, I mean, what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose, right? But you have everything to gain. So make sure that you are positive, that you stay positive, that you are on top of your game, that you are prepared. Very important. If you show up and you're not, when you do your interviews, if somebody shows up and they don't know anything about United, why would you want to hire them, right?
Exactly.
It's so important. Research the organization. It's key. And sometimes they don't understand, but they have to do it.
Not only researching the company, but I come research the trends, the industry trends, what's happening. If you start talking in their terminology, it sets you apart from your competition.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And the other thing that I want to point out that I always tell the students, to find a job is a job, okay? To find a job is not just to put up 5 resumes, like Christina said before. And I used to tell a couple of students used to come to my office and say, like, Angeliquita, I haven't gotten a job yet. How many resumes have you sent? No, just 5 or 6. I'm like, okay, do me a favor. Send 100 a day. Whoosh, 100? That's too much. I'm like, yes, I don't care how difficult it looks like, but how bad you want to get a job. Send 100 resumes a day. It might look a lot, but, you know, do your best. You do your best. If you don't move, nobody else is going to do it for you. So I think it's very important to be active. It's a job. It's a research process. You want to send as many resumes as you can. That way you can be selected and get your dream job.
And that job can turn into a career opportunity. So, you know, everything that they do, everything, wherever we go, we always get transferable skills that we could bring, you know, to the next job.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
But being
and
prepared,
especially like
being prepared is so important. You know, even questions, standard questions. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? You know, to everybody has a weakness. Try and know what your weakness is, but try and turn it into a positive. I'm working on it, or it shows that you recognize that you have a weakness. Everyone does.
And having questions as well, because at the end of an interview, they will ask you, right? The employer will ask you, do you have any questions?
Do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't have any questions. Okay, like I answered everything for you. I don't think so. So again, you're showing that you are really interested in the opportunity. So you have more questions because you want to learn more about what it is going to be like, what is the company culture, what are you looking for in candidates, anything that may not have been discussed during the interview.
Absolutely. Okay, I think this was a great conversation. Thank you so much for your company, Professor Rose, and for your input.
My pleasure.
And Christina, we're so happy to have you as part of UIC.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You do a
Me
great
too.
job, and our students really enjoy all these meetings.
I second
and your
the
job.
motion. All those in favor saying aye, you're fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, yes. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye.